Good morning again, good afternoon again, and good evening again. Depends where you're watching from. We're going to try and get Christina in here again. You know what? There's great things about living out in the country. You don't have all those neighbors that are connected to you. You don't have all of those all the traffic and everything going by. Unfortunately, you also don't have the greatest Wi-Fi. So I'm going to see if I can get her connected now. And if not, I'm going to wing it. She'll be commenting below and I will be winging it. So let's give it a minute, see if she gets on. But again, if you missed us 2 minutes ago when we tried to do this, what we're doing is we're going to talk about the meats. So the meats that I should introduce myself. I am Tracy Taylor and I am coming to you from Alberta, Canada. Christina Reyes-Tirado is trying to come to you from New York, way out in the country, but she's having some trouble. She wants to be on my video. Well, I want you to, my friend. There, she's coming on. Perfect. This alone, but it's really not as much fun. There she is. See, she just wanted to make a big entrance.
I did.
You were eating.
I wasn't. I was drinking.
Oh, okay.
It took a long time for the thing to pop up. It took all of a sudden. Yep.
Okay, so I just introduced myself. I'm Tracy Taylor from Alberta, Canada, and this, well worth the wait, is
Christina Reyes-Tirado from Northern New York.
And we are the Chatty Cooks. I was just explaining to these nice people that we're going to talk about the meats, and the meats are one of the things that, do you find when you talk to people about our food that they get a little bit nervous? And they're like, yeah, I'll try the berries and I'll try the yogurt, but nah, I really don't want to try the meat.
Yeah, all the time. Hi, Kathy. Hi, Corianne. Hi, Carrie. Yeah, all the time. That's always the big one. They're like, you got meat? I'm like, yeah, we got meat. And I don't know why, because they eat dehydrated meat. People eat jerky all day long.
Yeah.
So I don't know what they think that we do to it, that we have like some mutant cows or I don't really know, but it's just meat with the moisture taken out. That's it.
We take the water out, you put it back in. That's it. That's all.
Mm-hmm.
So
easy peasy.
Why don't we show them some of the meats and then I'll get cooking. I know that your stuff was done in a crock pot, which is great because people always ask, can you do it in a crock pot? So you went the crock pot method. I stuck with the frying pan method and the jar method. So we'll kind of show them a meat and then I'll start cooking and then you can go on and show them a couple more. Is that all right?
That's good.
Okay. So we do have a wide assortment of meats. We have pork, we have chicken, we have beef, and then we have a variety amongst those. So today I am going to show you the grilled chicken. Hello, Megan. The grilled chicken is fantastic. It's only been out since last January. So I'm trying to find one where you can see, it actually has the grill marks on it. And what I like about the grilled chicken is I always recommend it if you need something that's going to refresh really quick. I'll show you the chicken slices a little bit later on. But if you need something that's going to refresh really quick, because it's so thin, the grilled chicken refreshes really quick. So what I'm going to make this morning for you, if anybody wants to come for lunch, is...
Hi, Brenda.
Hello. Yeah, Kathy is one of my favorite too. Really, really it is. This is grilled chicken and mushrooms and spinach. I'm going to refresh that up with a little olive oil and some garlic. And then when it's warm, I'm going to throw some Parmesan cheese on. Now, I will be honest, this is not our Parmesan cheese, only because I'm out and I'm waiting for November when the big sale comes. So I'm going to get cooking that. Easy. I don't really have to explain what I'm doing, but I'm going to add the oil, add the garlic, add the food, add the water, add the spoon, and eat. Go ahead, Christina.
Okay, I'm going to talk about my first one. I actually have it. I don't know if you can see it behind me. I have it in my crock on the counter. And the thing is you don't really have to, it's already cooked. That's the one thing that people don't realize about our meat is they're already cooked and they're already drained. So there's You're not going to get that skim of grease, or even when you're frying up, like I made something with ground beef, it's like you don't have the splatter or any of that stuff because it's already been drained, so you don't have to worry about that. Now, I'm going to show you, where's my pulled pork? So I decided to make, this is going to be our dinner for tonight, but I like to put, Brenda, yeah, he's feeling better now, thank God. I've had a sick kid in the middle of the night. I really I don't need that this week, but he is feeling a little better. He's in his room on his tablet, just laying there. So I told him he's going to rest all day. This is what our pulled pork looks like. I'm just going to put some in my hand, okay? And if you can see, it's just dried. It's not even dried. It's not dried like when, like the dehydration process, when they dehydrate your jerky and stuff, it ends up where it's like chewy, and anything that you put in a dehydrator, even if it's, ooh, that's looking good. You know, no matter what, whether it's meat or it's a fruit, most of the things, there are some that'll come out crisp, but for the most part, they're going to come out kind of chewy. Ours aren't. As you can see, I can just break it right apart. It's taking every single solitary minuscule drop of moisture out of it. And what I did today is I tossed it in. It's the easiest pulled pork you're ever going to make. I tossed it in my my rock crock that goes in the, you know, crock pot thingy, and I added the water. I added some onions, and then I'm a huge Tastefully Simple fan. So I added, I get a lot of their sauces and barbecue sauces, and I use it like this in my crock pot with my meats all the time. This one is the honey bourbon citrus glaze, and I just dumped that in there and just stirred it up. And just the only reason I like it in the crock pot is just so that the flavors can meld together. A few tips about the pulled pork is you do have to be careful when you have like a bigger chunk like this, because you want to make sure that you refresh them enough, because you don't want to bite into it and the inside's dry, although it's perfectly fine because it's cooked. But you know, when you're expecting, you know, some nice soft pulled pork and then you're like, why the crunchy, you want to do that. And the other thing too is our pulled pork is we only have a couple things that you're going to want to put in the fridge or whatever. What I do is I put my pulled pork, once it's open, I just stick the whole can in the freezer. Because this one unopened is going to last 25 years, just like all the rest of our dehydrated, listen to me, because I was talking about dehydrated, our freeze-dried stuff. But this one, when you open it, you're not going to have as long a shelf life. So I'm not going to I might not use it within 2 weeks. So I throw mine in the freezer, so I don't have to worry about it. Then I just scoop it right out of the freezer, because it's, even though it's keeping it cold and all that stuff, it's still not like frozen solid like when you have to defrost something. So let me show you, although I've been eating it because it's really good. I'm going to show you what I made. Yep, wrong side. Here is my pulled pork for tonight, and I'm going to make some mashed potatoes. And it's just, you can see it's all pulled. I don't have to pull it. Like, seriously, this took me less than 5 minutes to put in. It was just scoop, add the water, add the stuff, stir it up. I'm done. Turn it on. That's it. And it is so good. See, yeah. And I've been eating it. I was eating it while I was waiting to get in here. So it's really, really easy to make. And you know, like I said, and because I am such a lazy cook, that's why, like, I'm a huge fan of the Tastefully Simple. Another one I use is this Asian sesame slow cooker. You know, and not that I'm doing an ad for them, but this is like, if you're a lazy cook like me, getting these kind of sauces and stuff is so easy, because you just dump it in there and go. You don't have to do anything. I do add salt and pepper and stuff like that, but other than that, it's really super easy. So that, the pulled pork. What do you got going over there?
Okay, well, I'm just going to dish this up, but I wanted to say that the pulled pork is another one that we use a lot when we do our trade shows. And I just refresh it up with a little can of pineapple juice. And then what I do is I will add, whenever we do the trade shows, there's always a local honey guy. So I'll go buy some of his, oh, look, you can see how stringy that is. Buy the local honey, and then I'll put in a couple ketchup packets, because we're at a trade show. There's always those kind of, you know, hot dog and French fry vendors. So I simply will add ketchup and honey with the pulled pork when it's been refreshed up with the pineapple juice. And it is absolutely amazing because it soaks in all those flavors. So this recipe is really hard to show. I have to figure out a better way to do this. I tried putting it in a glass dish, but it is chicken and mushrooms, spinach, and then I added the Parmesan cheese on top. And what is really good about it is you could serve it on top of, here, maybe that's better. You could serve it on top of a noodle, or you could serve it on top of cauliflower if you're avoiding the carbs. But what I wanted to show you was I showed you a minute ago the chicken. So here's the chicken. I'm just watching. I'm reaching. I feel like there's going to be a Mrs. Doubtfire moment happening here.
Honey, you don't have to worry about that.
I'm reaching over the hot. Okay. So here's the chicken. See how crumbly it is? Well, here is the chicken that has been refreshed. It's stringy. Mm-hmm. It's just like the chicken. Oh, sorry.
Because it's chicken.
Because it's just like the chicken that you would be eating at home. So you saw how long that took, and it was ready earlier, but Chatty was still talking, and I didn't want to interrupt her. So that is our grilled chicken. Christina has showed you our pulled pork. What else can you show these people?
Well, I also made, I also wanted the grilled chicken. Another thing that's really, really good for it is to put on your salad. You know how they have those, like, when you go to like the meat section, they'll have like over like where they have like mac and cheese. I mean, maybe in Canada they don't do it that way, but ours is over there, and then they'll have the packages of chicken. And there's like 4 little pieces of chicken in there for like $5. You don't have to worry about doing it because you can do this and you can refresh it with, you just refresh it with hot water. It doesn't even have to be boiling, and then toss it on your salad as well too. So that's like a really good option if you like to have, you know, a meat on your salad. So I do that a lot with it as well. But do you want me to show you what I made, or do we want, since you were talking about chicken, you want me to show the chopped chicken?
Whatever you want, my dear.
How about we go to chopped chicken? Okay. Chopped chicken is one, if anybody that has, you know, had a tasting or whatever with Thrive, one of our big things is chicken salad. I mean, it is, I don't think I've ever eaten as much chicken salad in my life until I started Thrive. But I'm not complaining because I never wanted to make it before, because picking it off the bones of things is a pain in the rear end. So we have our chopped chicken, which I use for everything. And I'm going to show you what this beautiful chicken looks like. And it's nice and chopped, and it's small. And if you like your chicken shredded for your chicken salad, you can just, you know, drag it through with your fork or whatever, or you can leave it in the chunks. It's unseasoned, so you season it how you want it, and you can put it in soups, you can put it in stews, you can put it in casseroles, you can put it in, I don't know, macaroni salad and potato, whatever, you know, eat it out of the can, whatever you want to do with it. So that is, I use this, I go through this a lot. It's probably one of, that and the ground beef are the ones that probably we use the most, but I use them all. So it's, so this is like a must-be staple. And one of my favorite things is when I do that, when I do a tasting, and I always bring chicken salad because I just feel like you have to, because it's the total, like, oh my God, especially when people are like, please drag me. And it's just like, just eat it, will ya? And you can see the transformation in their faces from, oh, I'm eating, oh my God, I didn't expect it to be this good. And it's like, yeah. And it's like every time, you know, it's like, I'm not even sure what people think it's going to be, but it's never what they thought it was going to be. And then they're like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And I'm like, duh, I know. So, you know, so that is like, that's one of my favorite things. Melissa, chopped chicken, you can use it for anything. I'll even use it for my fajitas sometimes. So like for smaller bits of my fajitas, I will use it and put it with some potatoes and put it on tortillas, because that's, you know, it's a Puerto Rican thing with the chicken and onions and potatoes. I would use it in my chicken noodle soup. I do the jars with the chicken noodle soup. The possibilities are like endless. You can even refresh this and toss it on your salad. Whatever the heck you want to do with it.
I think everybody knows what my favorite thing for chopped chicken is, because I do it all the time. That's my chicken sandwich dip. I love it in dips because it's small enough that it's not a big chunk, but you still have the protein in there. I also like it in with bacon and cauliflower and cheese. a great way to avoid the carbs if you're avoiding the carbs, but getting your extra protein in there. So I use the chopped chicken quite a bit myself.
Mm-hmm. Also, if you're doing a little bit more lower sodium and everything, because our other ones are seasoned, you have some season, like the seasoned grilled slices and everything. This one does not have any kind of seasoning in it, so it's completely, whatever you want it to be. So that's why it's another great one too, depending if you're watching your sodium and you don't want you didn't want the salt and stuff in it. So that's another. So what are you doing next?
Do you know what? Sometimes John will come home and he'll say, I feel like roast beef, mashed potatoes, and well, he says it a little better than I do, but he says, I feel like roast beef, mashed potatoes, and vegetables. And I say, it's okay, babe, I got you covered. So what I'm doing now is I am refreshing up my shredded beef, which I will show you what the shredded beef looks like in the can. So there are some bigger pieces and there's some smaller pieces. Very, very similar to the pulled pork. So again, I kind of do the same thing. Hello, Christina. I will make sure that I have it broken up, small enough. Refresh it in the water. It's not long, it's ready now. And while Christina was talking, I refreshed some peas up and I'm gonna do some mashed potatoes. I'm just gonna throw some gravy right on top. So we also have the gravy mixes. We're not talking mixes today or sauces, but we have the beef gravy. So I'm just gonna sprinkle some on. What I've done is I overestimated the amount of water, but that's okay because I knew that my gravy was gonna soak it up. And remember, if you add too much water, just throw in a little bit of your mashed potatoes. It's kind of like the Band-Aid. I'd rather have too much water than not enough. There's nothing worse than having it and it not being. It's completely safe, but you want it refreshed. So I added a little extra water so that that would be my water for my gravy. I'm going to make up my mashed potatoes. And then while Christina is telling you about her next one, I'll dish this up, show you what it looks like, and then we'll keep on moving.
Awesome. My next one is ground beef. Now, this is one that I use all the time. Now, I just want to say, too, because a lot of times I think people, when we say, oh, we do the meat, whatever, does it mean that, I use just Thrive meat? I don't. I get a half a cow every year. We do the grass-fed. I do a half a pig. Because, so far, they don't have freeze-dried steak. If Jason Norton's watching, freeze-dried steak, slices, that would be, steak fajitas. Anyway, I digress. And, sorry, my 6th son just thought he was going to put that down.
And they don't do elk, they don't do moose, they don't do bear, and they don't do deer. So what Christina's going to show you now, I make a meatless version of it, and I add it to my ground venison and my ground moose.
Yep. Sorry, my monster came out, and he's in his underwear, so you guys probably all don't want to see my sick kid in his underwear. Probably not a good thing. So, anyway, we are talking about meat, Christina. Yes, meat, baby. Anyway. Here's my torn up can because my daughter sits on tearing labels off a thing, which is a joy. But here is what the ground beef looks like. It's already drained and it's cooked and everything. So all you got to do is scoop and toss it in. Now, we make tacos all of the time with it. What I made today is I made a Hamburg hash. You can see I've been eating my pork up on the top. I made a Hamburg hash. And what we do, we like to add stuff like this and stick it in a tortilla, but you can eat it just as is. And I just have in it our potatoes, the freeze-dried ones. I have the ground beef, I have chilies, I have onions, and I put garlic. And then I just it seriously took me 5 minutes. Ooh, look at that.
I'm trying to get it so it doesn't fall out the pan.
It's going to slide right off.
Well, trust me.
It's going to.
Okay, so here's the meat in the gravy. Yeah. Here's the peas, and here's the mashed potatoes.
Ooh, yum, yum, yum.
You know how fast they did that? I'm going to have to get see-through pans.
I know. Do they have them?
Yeah, they do. They were like Visionware, but they're not clear. They're like opaque. So you keep talking. I'm going to make shepherd's pie while you're talking.
Okay. Another thing I do is this is one of my favorite soups. I just make like and I had it the other day. I was taking pictures of it because it's just a Hamburg chowder, and I put it in the jar and add the hot water, and it's really good. It's got potatoes and celery and onions and the ground beef and corn, and I think what else do I have in there? Chef's Choice. I have some tomato powder and everything, and it's really, really easy to make. One other beef thing, because she's talking about the other, I gotta open it though, because I didn't open it yet. We have is our beef slices. Now, the beef slices are in chunks like this, okay? But you can see they break right apart and everything because there's not a lick of moisture in these suckers. They are just completely taken out. But once you put them in there, it's just going to refresh right back up, just like it was originally before they freeze dried it. I love these. I use them for beef stroganoff. I'll do them in the jar. I'll do, if I'm going to do something in like my crock pot, like an all day kind of thing, I'll put my veggies in there and, whatever seasonings, and I'll toss it in there so it's bigger pieces of meat and make it into a gravy and then put it over potatoes. I also, because my husband is a carnivore, when I do our express meals, like if I do the beef stew or I do the, what is it, the creamy beef and noodles, I make those a lot.
Yeah.
And I will take a handful of these and just toss them in there and refresh it while the water's boiling, and then add everything else, just so it has bigger chunks of meat in there for him, because he's not, like, I'm happy with just something with a noodle or a little, I don't have to have a ton of meat, but he does, so I will just toss those in there, just to buff up the meat part. Steak fajitas, that's a good idea too. I was saying that we should have freeze-dried steak, but I guess it's the same thing. It's kind of the same thing. Well, I guess it depends on the cut. I don't know what cut it is, but just about anything you used beef in. If you wanted something, you could do like the beef tips or a beef stew with big chunks of beef, all sorts of stuff.
But we're not going to tell you all the ways to use the beef slices because we just received a challenge for the Chatty Cooks Chit Chat challenges on how to use beef slices. I've never used them before. I just picked up a can on Saturday at the Calgary event. I've never used them before. I love the fact that you gave so many ideas though, because now I'm not at a loss. But we will be doing that as our next Chit Chat challenge. So,
well, she's going to do it anyway because she's going to have to win.
What?
Because you're going to have to win.
Yeah, of course. So while Christina was chatting, I made up this shepherd's pie. I just added the ground beef and the corn. I poured the hot water over top. I let it sit for a minute. Now I'm going to scoop the rest of the mashed potatoes that I made a minute ago on top. When my husband and my kids take these to school, we call them messy shepherd's pie because you need to mix it up with the potatoes in. But if I'm making them at a tasting or for somebody to try for the first time, I think the layers look so much better. So we have the ground beef. In the ground beef, I've added the Chef's Choice. I did add a little bit of the gravy in there just for flavoring, the corn, and then the mashed potatoes on the top. So really, Christina's here. She's a queen of the little, what do you call them? Simple Serve Magics. I call them mini Mason meals, but same, it's all the same. There's your meal ready to go. Have that in your desk at work, or have it in your glove box, have it in your car box.
She suggested that Jetboil, and I am totally getting one of those because after my event outside last weekend, and I had taken hot water in the thing, but it just was not hot.
And Christina's frozen again, so I get to talk.
Oh, no, I'm froze. Somebody sent me a message. But I'm getting that Jetboil thing because it was just not hot enough, even though I put the water in, in the thermos thing. It just wasn't as hot as I like my soup, because I like my soup to be really, really hot.
So there's beef. Look at that. You would never know that came out of a can with no moisture in it. Okay. So now we've done.
And you can tell that we love this stuff because we're sitting here stuffing our faces well. How rude is that?
I know.
We're are really rude. We can't help it that you're sitting here and it smells so good and it's right in your face and it's just like, I'm just gonna sneak a little while she's talking.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah.
Okay, so we've done the grilled chicken, we've done the pulled pork, we've done the shredded beef, we've done the ground beef, we've done the chopped chicken. Okay, so
Sausage.
Sausage, yeah, sausage. Probably my favorite. Reason being, that's the reason being. I eat this stuff. My two favorite ways to use it is to brown it up quickly and then add it to my omelets. So I have people ask all the time, how do you get the sausage so it's not hard when you refresh it? And I always tell them, go on YouTube and type in Chef Todd's sausage. It's okay. It's okay. I make sure that if I type that in, I wasn't sending people to a video they shouldn't be seeing. Chef Todd explains why when you dry fry it quickly, it accepts the water, the refreshing even more. So go on YouTube, type in Chef Todd's sausage, and he will show you how to do it. Is it no good when it's hard? Absolutely. It's fantastic. I eat it. My second favorite way is in Mountain Man mix. So that is sausage, cheddar cheese, corn, and peas. It was gone for a minute. I was like, what is the fourth thing? Right? Did I say that right?
I don't put the peas in.
Right, but I do. Oh
yeah, I don't like peas.
That is totally, that does happen. Somebody help me. Mountain Man mix. We make it all the time. Like, I make it by the buckets. I accidentally dropped a bucket of it in Dee's car on the way back from Utah, and I cried. But then I put it back in the can and fed the people in the back. So it is. Oh, I should show you what it looks like. Other than, oh, you did, right?
Yeah, I showed them what that looked like. I didn't have Mountain Man.
Yeah. So it looks very much like ground beef. So much like it that I've accidentally mixed them up a time or two because really they probably should do something a little different with the cans.
Yeah, they look really similar.
They look really similar. Peas, corn, cheddar. Yeah, I thought it was peas, but it was just gone from my head for a minute. So you mix those up equal portions and you eat it just like that. It's great to take hiking. It's great to keep in the vehicle. No refreshing necessary. The cheddar and the sausage together to die for. So then what other meats do we have? Oh, yes. Sometimes we add the red bell peppers. Those are magic all on their own. Absolutely.
Yeah.
What else do we have, Christina?
That's it.
Nope.
What are we missing?
Chicken slices.
Chicken slices.
Chicken slices. So the chicken slices are thicker and bigger. So I use these. I like to refresh them. As Christina said, if you want your meat flavored, when you're refreshing it, put the flavor right in the water. So if you want teriyaki, put the teriyaki sauce in with the water. And when this starts sucking in the water, it starts sucking in the flavor. Look it. Isn't that amazing? And then if I refreshed it up, which I can do while I'm chatting, I like it in fajitas and I like it in stir fries. My boy takes it often as he does buffalo chicken, so he'll put Frank's buffalo. Do you have that in the States? Frank's buffalo?
No, we got buffalo. Well, you do know that I'm from New York, where like buffalo wings and all that started in Buffalo.
Okay.
So you know that's where it comes from.
Okay. So I guess you have it then.
Yeah. So we have it.
You see, I just put the water on this very second. Look at that.
Yep.
Oh, it's so good. That is like a. So this one is.
You can add it to salads and stuff too.
Very, very lightly seasoned though. So you season it how you want. I like it with Frank's buffalo, which we can get in Canada, although we don't live near Buffalo. I also like it with teriyaki. I like it with honey garlic. Any flavor you like, put it in the water. So when your chicken absorbs, it has that water. And then you can just throw it in a wrap. or it's amazing, which obviously they think so too because it's on the photo, in a stir fry. So stir fry in a hurry. It's a matter of opening 5 cans, shoving everything into a wok style pan, refreshing it up, and serving over rice if that's your choice. So are the meats still really scary? Although I see most of the people that were here talking, I know that they've all tried the meats. Has anyone not tried the meat? Is there anybody on watching? Let us know. If you're watching and you're live and you've never had the meats, put live, no meats. If you're watching on the replay, we love you too. Replay, no meats. We would like to know who has not tried the meats. Because if you've not tried the meats, I'm going to put your name in a hat and I'm going to send you a meat to try. So we would like to know. If you've all tried it, that's great. But if you haven't tried the meats yet, let us know and we're going to get some meat to you. Luckily, I have some small packages of meat that I like to send off as samples. So I have a couple ready to go. I haven't had the chicken yet, but you've tried the meat, Christy? Christy's in New York, right?
Yeah, I think she's had chicken salad because she was in my bunco group. So she's had chicken salad.
Awesome.
But none of the red meats yet.
Well,
and those seem to be a little scarier for people than the chickens for some reason. I
would be the opposite. I would be like, if I'm not sure about meat, chicken and pork would be the ones I would avoid.
Yeah. I don't know. And you know what? And we forgot to mention too, is one of the great things about like the meat is, because they are seasoned. They do have salt in it, Kirsty. One of the things I love is no defrosting. You know, I don't know how many times I've come home and been like, crap, I didn't take anything out of the freezer. You know, and this is just like a really easy way of whipping up, you know, it's like you don't have, you know, like I said, like I was saying before, like a lot of times you just want them to like do away with all the other meat and just use Thrive meat. And it's like, that's not what it's about. It's about making everything easier for you so that when you come home and you're like, oh my God, I got to make something quick. It's there and it's easy and you can make what you want and do what you want with it. There's no rules to it. It's just toss it in there. The only rule I could say is to make sure it's refreshed.
Yeah.
Because you're probably, you know, a lot of them, if you bite into the chunky part, even though, like I said, it's not going to hurt you, you're probably not going to be like, that's great, you know, after you've been eating like this great part. So that's like the only rules. Make sure it's refreshed, you know, and it's not even because it's, you know, not, you know, like when you're cooking pork in your oven, you got to make sure it's cooked. Otherwise you could get sick or you're going to get worms or something. You don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
So no worms here.
I always say the magic's in the meat. It's not magic. You need to give it enough time. So it's 10 minutes usually, 5 minutes for some, depends on the thickness. It says so right on the can. And just try a piece of the meat. When the meat's done, you know you're golden with the vegetables. But we need to also remind you that we have our challenge going on for Show Us Your Cans. We've had a couple of people that have messaged us the photos. Make sure you're adding them onto the Chatty Cooks business page, or we will add them. The thing is, you need your photograph inside those pictures. We need to know that you didn't snag them off Pinterest, or you didn't go to an event like I did on Saturday where the amazing hostess had an entire table of things to do with cans. So I saw those too. So if I see any of those pictures and your name is not Kathy or Melanie, you're out. I want to see your picture. So whatever you do with the can, I know Victoria did her live yesterday on what she did with the can. So that was great. I know we have some people in Northern Ireland that are competing. So make sure you get your pictures in. We can't wait to see them.
Yep. And remember, if you've got a challenge, if you've got something that you want to see us cook up, or, you know, a product that we want to, one of our foods that you want us to use that you're not really sure what to do with, send us a little less than a minute video saying, hey, I challenge you.
Right.
We will, because you know what? There's nothing that Tracy likes better than to whoop my butt.
Love my competition.
I let her win.
I can see you.
I know.
You let me win. Okay, you let me win next time. You let me.
Okay, because otherwise she's impossible to live with.
I've never.
So I think that is it.
Before.
Huh?
I've never tried the beef slices, and you're like an old hat at it. So who's gonna win?
You, because you can't not win. And if you lose, you will be hell to live with. So yeah.
It's all good. Until then, and until Thursday, when we'll be back at the same time, same place. I'm Tracy Taylor from Alberta, Canada.
And I am Christina Rios Tirado from Northern New York. And we are the Chatty Cooks.
Perfect.
Bye, guys.
Bye-bye.